Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you want this?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're broadcasting.
It's good. Yeah. Okay.
Am I good to go? Okay. So, hello and welcome everyone to this session. In this presentation, I will be talking about how I use AI in my teaching. I will show you how students, I will show you some data about how students, faculty, and staff are using AI. And then I will show you the methods that the students have on using AI and making it undetectable by faculty. Then I will show you how I use it in my classes, mostly about developing exams, developing different data sets for students in my classes. That helped me improve the quality of the sessions that I do for my students and the case studies that I provide to my students. So during the presentation, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand and ask it at that time. We don't need to wait to the end. So, Sean, how much time do I have? Is it 20 minutes or?
25 minutes.
25 minutes, okay, perfect.
Dan said you had to finish 5 minutes early.
Okay, so I have put all the prompts that I use in this presentation on a web page. If you scan this, you will get access to all the prompts that I'm going to use, so you don't need to take pictures or anything. And if it didn't work, just let me know, I will send you the link to it. So here's some data about how universities are using AI, how students are using it, how faculty are using it, and how staff are using it. And I believe this was a research, a survey done by Turnitin, the plagiarism check software that we have. So if we check 2023, we can see this is the students, this is our staff administrators, and this is how faculty are using that. And you can see the darker means regular users, and as the color becomes lighter, it means they use it very limitedly, or they have never tried using AI tools. It could be ChatGPT, it could be Gemini, any AI tool. So students, 2023, 43% of them are regular users, not just tried it, regular users. Our administrators, 7%, instructors, only 8%. Fall 2023, 49% of the students said that they are regular users of ChatGPT and other AI tools. And spring 2024, 59%. So more than half of our students were regular users of AI spring 2024. Just imagine how it got even more in 2025, right? And if we check faculty, 36% are regular users. What does it tell you? It's telling us faculty are behind the students. The students have already started using it. They're using it on a regular basis, right? And faculty are behind. So we need to catch up. What happens is that the students are getting better and better at using these AI tools, while faculty are still hesitant to use it. While faculty are not still as proficient as the students in using these AI tools, right? So it's very important on our side to learn how we can use AI tools and how we can incorporate them in our classes. I'm doing a research with a couple of colleagues in Canada on faculty syllabi and their background. So what we did is we collected faculty syllabi and we checked their AI policy. Are they letting a student to use it? Are they limiting the use of AI, or are they totally banning it? And then we collected faculty background from their profile. What's their education background? Are they STEM, non-STEM faculty? Are they tenured, non-tenured? What is their rank? How many years of experience they have? Their age, everything. And then We check their Google Scholar as well. What is the paper that they have published, how many citations they have, etc., etc. And we check whether those factors affect the use of AI. Do they let the students use AI if they are, let's say, STEM background or not? And the finding was very interesting. And I wasn't expecting that to happen, actually. My idea was that STEM faculty, those who have a STEM background, would be more willing to let the students use AI. But interestingly, a STEM background had no effect on embracing AI in classroom. The only, go ahead.
Amy Caluso has raised her hand. Should we view or see what her question is?
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, so I'll log in.
Mhm. Yeah, sure. If they have a question, they can ask or they can type it in the chat.
Is the sound not working for remote participants?
Sure.
It should be. It should be going.
We can hear the presentation, but we're seeing a different set of slides and we can't see the presenter.
Okay,
Yeah, that's,
you know what, let's stop share. Thanks, Amy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
John, we'll have to figure out how to turn that down a little.
yeah, there should be, I'm gonna test run.
Let me tell you which one.
How's that, Amy? Whisper.
Yes, we can see that now. Thank you.
Interestingly, the only factor that significantly and positively affected use of AI in classes was faculty having a paper on AI. Those who have done research on AI are letting a student to use it. Those who have done nothing with AI or have not published anything in AI, have not done research on AI, are not letting a student use it. And it was very interesting. We had a STEM faculty, computer science faculty, mathematics faculty, who had not published anything on AI, and they were not letting a student use AI. And we had faculty from psychology, from writing, right? Who published papers on AI in their own field, and they were embracing AI in their policy. They were letting a student to use that. So the more familiar the faculty with using AI, the more willing they are to let the students use that. And those who are not using it themselves are very hesitant to use that, are skeptical about AI. So one of the biggest concerns that most of us have about AI is plagiarism. And everywhere I go and talk about AI, the biggest question that I get is, how can we check if the students are using AI or not? What are the platforms? Is there a plagiarism check? Is there a Turnitin? So there are so many platforms that can help us detect AI, but they are not reliable. I've tried all these plagiarism check platforms. GPT-0 was the very first one, Grammarly, Originality AI, etc., etc. Turnitin has its own feature to check AI created content, but none of them is perfect. Here is an example. They gave Constitution of the United States to AI detector, and 92% was AI generated. Does it make sense? No, right? When they wrote the Constitution, they probably were typing it with a typewriter, right? So there was no AI, but these plagiarism checks make mistakes, right? Same thing may happen with our students. So I never use these AI detectors to point fingers at any student because the chance of error is not low. And even aside from that, there are so many ways that our students have to bypass all these plagiarism checks. Just check these websites, bypassgpt.ai, bypassai.ai, right? Students can generate their assignment with ChatGPT. It might be detectable by GPT-0 and other platforms that we have, but there are these websites, and there are many more websites like these that will humanize the text. So they upload the assignment that they wrote with ChatGPT to these platforms. It will humanize the text. Now AI detectors cannot even tell, right? So that's why I'm not using any AI detector. I don't think it's the best move forward And even if we have the best plagiarism check, right? Even if we make everything on paper, manual, I hope the GIF runs here. There are still ways, right? They can generate the content with ChatGPT and use a printer or something that can make handwriting assignments for them. It's a 3D printer does my homework that ChatGPT wrote, right? So there is no best way to stop the students from using AI. And I think the best way for us is to adjust our classes. The best way for us to move forward is to incorporate AI as much as we can and change the way that we teach, change the way that we evaluate the students. So instead of focusing on the result, I think one of the best ways that we can move forward is focusing on the process. Instead of asking the student, okay, submit this assignment, we can ask them, how did you get to this final result? Require meeting minutes. If the students are doing a group work, ask them to submit the minutes of their meeting. Ask them to submit pictures of their group meeting. Sometimes we can ask them to give us voice recording of a focus group, a brainstorming session that they had. We can put more weight on in-class activities. So they work on a project as they're in class. Ask them to write questions about your own lectures instead of asking them general questions about the textbook or everything that they can find chatting with AI. Ask them to write questions about the lectures. This way they have to think, they have to generate content that they cannot get from the AI. So the final solution, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is we have to flip the class. We have to change the way that we conduct our classes. We have to change the way that we do our exams. We have to use AI. Create your own chatbots, right? We can create our own chatbots to complement what we are doing in our class, to improve the way our students are learning, to let them have more personalized, more customized interaction with the course content that we have. Educate the students about advantages of using AI and its limitations. What I figured is that if I talk about AI in my classes, if I have some slides about what are the advantages, what are the processes behind AI generating those contents, what are the limitations, what can go wrong? The students are very responsive and they are very well responding to what we are teaching to them, and they're very ethical actually. If we show them the limitations, they use it, and they use it in a very ethical way. So now I'm going to show you how I use AI in my classes. Some of the tools, some of the videos, some of the applications that I show you might be limited at this time, but with the pace of change in AI, maybe 6 months from now, they will, these systems will do a great job of doing the same things in very less costly way. So this one is text to image video. So let's text an image to video. I hope it plays here. So I just gave it one picture. Oops. Let me see if I can play it. I just gave it that picture that you saw and asked it to create me talking in a classroom. It's Runway LM. Now we have Sora, we have CleanJI, we have so many other image to video or even text to video generators that we can use to complement the material that we provide in our classes. The next one, let me see if I can play this. The same image. This one had a voice as well. Let me see if I can turn up the. I'm not sure if the sound is working here, but this one had, I could type what I want to say in that slide and it would read it. And even better than that, this one, I hope I can play this one. So there are tools like this script that you can use to, is there a way I can
Yeah, you know, or I think it's,
Share the whole screen and unshare, share the whole screen and enable audio sharing.
Okay,
you know, as you're
No,
doing
don't
that,
stop the recording. Go to share and share the whole screen,
okay,
but also click on share sound.
share sound on the right.
Okay.
Sorry.
Dear board members, in this presentation,
does
we are
it?
going to discuss Java of AI.
Oh, yeah, okay, it's very
We
low,
will
okay.
discuss different user tools.
So
Yeah,
let's
the
try
sound
it
has to be
again.
turned up locally.
Yeah, let's try it again. So Sean, if you can,
Dear board members, in this presentation, we are going to discuss Java of AI in business. We will discuss different user tools.
so what I did was I uploaded 15 minutes of my class for this AI tool, and it was able to clone my voice. So what you heard was not me speaking. I just typed what I wanted to say and uploaded 15 minutes of my class as a sample. It was talking with my voice. And I could make it longer and longer if I paid to the system, right? So, and this one is getting better and better. I'm actually thinking of using this script for my online classes because it gives me a lot of flexibility in editing the slide. Let's say you have created 50 videos for your class and 2 months after something has changed, right? You want to edit just a small part of it. It's very easy to make those adjustments. So it helps us keep our presentations, keep our classes, keep our course material more up to date.
Dear board members,
The next way that I use AI for my classes is to customize the cases, to customize the assignments that I give to my students. If you scan that QR code at the beginning, you can have access to these prompts. Just copy paste these prompts to your ChatGPT, and it will generate the data sets for classes. So here, I asked it to create an example that I can use for t-test and ANOVA, a data set. I tell it, I want you to create a data set in CSV format. Income talks about the income of people, CEOs, their gender, where they live, rural, urban area, their ethnicity, etc., etc. And I ask it to create 500 observations. It creates the data set for me. Now, when I teach my students t-test and ANOVA, I have a data set. I can give it to them. They can test it. They can run their own analysis. Even better than that, sometimes I notice that, okay, one student gets the answer, the other one is not. They are reading from each other's computer, right? Easy. Now create 5 different versions of this data set for me. Now I have 5 different versions. I can ask it to create 100 different versions of it. So each student is getting a different result, right? Now they have to work on it on their own, right? Another one, I asked it to create data set for me. I wanted to show a student the gap between male and female CEOs payment, CEO's salary. I asked ChatGPT, you are an experienced data analyst, create a table of top 50 companies from Fortune 500, create a column for the CEO, and there another column for their gender, right? It would take me a week or so to create that data set myself. But ChatGPT in a couple of seconds will go collect that data, give me that table, and now I can give it to my students and they can run the thesis on it, right? To see how it works. Even better than that, I can ask it to write the code. Yeah.
So the data set that AI generates, is it those numbers are true or is just it spits out some numbers?
Sure.
So
So
does
the
it
question
give
is-
you a real difference
Mhm.
between the salaries between male CEOs and female CEOs? Or is just generate some random numbers and you get some kind of.
Okay, that's a very good question. So the question is, for those who are attending online, when we generate these data sets with ChatGPT and other AI tools, are these data reliable or not? Is it just randomly generating numbers or is it true values? It is true values, But the error that time to time I see is somebody's salary might be from 2020, another person's salary might be from 2024, right? So there are some issues with regard to the numbers that it gives you. It's not randomly making up numbers, but it's pulling numbers from different sources. And it may not be, so I would say I'm not still using it for research. If I want to publish a paper, I'm not using it for that purpose. But for teaching in class, you don't need that much of, validity in your data. You can just give them the sample. It doesn't matter if some part is updated, some part is not. So one of the errors that happens with ChatGPT, and I show it to my students, is creating a list. Sometimes the ranking may change time to time. So you ask it to give you the top 50 Fortune 500 companies. At once, it may give you Walmart at top. Then the second time, it may give you Apple at the top, right? Because it's kind of subjective, or different lists have different rank. But the genders that it finds, the name of the CEOs, the salaries are based on some valid data. It might not be updated. And then I ask it to create a code that changes or codes the variables, male 0, female 1. So my students can code the data to be able to run analysis on it. Write the t-test code in R so my student can use that, get the code, run it on their system, and see how it works. One of the cool things about ChatGPT is its ability to translate code from one programming language to another one. Here I'm going to demonstrate a very simple example of that. So I have a code in R that basically generates some random numbers for a normal distribution and then plots that, right? A histogram of that. So let me run the code in R. Here's the results, right? Now I want to get the same code in Python. So all I need to do is to go to my ChatGPT. I will use 3.5. I don't need GPT-4 for this one. Translate this code from R to Python. And I paste my code here and wait for the results. Here is what I got from GPT. So I will go to my Jupyter notebook. I paste it here. I run the code. Here's the output, right? So let's say you are using a, yeah.
5 minutes ago.
Okay.
So
So let's say you are using a textbook that has all the codes in Python and you are using R in your class, right? You can easily translate everything and use those examples in your class. Or let's say you want to show your students they are more, it's easier for them to use Python, use R. You can just translate everything to Python and you can run your classes much faster, much easier. I try to skip these parts. So I will stop here and yeah. In a couple of seconds, I translate my code from R to Python.
Just on the back screen, just they asked, Amy wanted to see that again.
Here we go.
On back. There we go.
and if you have any questions, that can continue. We're going to stop the recording. Everyone have it?